the new PRB01 Sanji Red Rush deck is finally able to be used in a tournament format coming up very soon. So here is my updated deck list. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Mobby, and today I'm going to give you my personalized deck list for the PRB01 Rush Red Sanji deck. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel as we grow. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for a lot of other anime TCGs. Alright, let's jump on in. Now this deck is meant for OP10. If you guys want to see my OP08s, my OP8.5 and 9 version, look at my playlist down below for every single deck that I have in the past. So, as mentioned, this deck is an updated deck list, and the theme around this is it's a fun deck. It's not a crazy competitive deck, and the whole goal is rush with Straw Hats. So let's go ahead and talk about the deck today, talk about each and every one. Then at the end of the episode, I'll give you guys my strengths and weaknesses on why this is good and why this is, of course, bad. So here it is, Sanji. This is a red leader, 5,000 power, 5 life. Activate once per turn. One of your 8 cost or lower characters without an on play gains rush until the end of the turn. Really strong ability. The first card we have here is Bad Manners Kick Course from OP10. This is a 0 cost with a counter of trashing a card to give your leader or character 3,000 power. The trigger is one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets negative 3,000 during this turn. The trigger is actually pretty strong, and the effect here